Welcome back, everybody, to the OPT Network. Our guest this morning is former Councilman Roosevelt Johnson. He is a current candidate for Alexandria City Councilman at large, and he joins us to talk about his plans, the people, and the progress that he hopes and expects to see within the next 4 years. Roosevelt, good morning and welcome back.
Good morning and welcome to this great show. It's also good to be here with Southernite.
Absolutely. That's Southernite. That's right. That's right.
Throw that in.
Well, you know, we've talked on many occasions, and you have had a long history of serving Alexandrians. Let's rewind back to how you became a public servant.
Well, one of the things that was important to me in my career in community service was back when I was in high school. I wanted to play football. I wanted to be athletic. I came from a strong educational based family. I couldn't do it. I got hurt. So at that time, I decided in the ninth grade, I wanted to serve the community, serve people. When I started working with senior citizens, I decided I was going to go to Southern University and graduate. I decided that I was going to work in television, and I decided I was going to run for political office. And I told my grandparents at that time I was going to reach all of the goals that I set as a teenager. And that's why I decided to run citywide. I wanted to take on an entire city, walk house to house, door to door, carry out campaigns and work the grassroots as I did when I was a kid. And I accomplished all three, and my mother's still living. And that was my greatest hope, to see her see the things that I set aside to accomplish while she had time on earth, to see that I was very successful in the goals that I set as a kid.
And so in the ninth grade, you knew you wanted to serve your community.
Right, and I knew I wanted to work. I worked in television 22 years, in the media. I finished from Southern University with mass communications. Then I graduated from college. Then I decided in the year 1999, 2000, I would make my first run. And I served 3 times as councilman at large, 3 times as president, and also as district councilman, setting goals, setting objectives for the people of the city.
And so you've been on the ground for a lot of years working, and then you take a step back. When do you decide to take a step up, to say, I need to come back?
Well, one of the things that's important to me is what this campaign is all about. It's about people planning in progress. As I look at our city, as I look at our community, as I go to places throughout Alexandria, I look at some of the key issues that people are facing. I see a lot of people in poverty. I see that people want hope, a better quality of life, the livelihoods in which they live. I had a chance to serve as president of the Alexandria Affordable Corporation here in our city, to look at where we were as you look at housing projects in our great city. And I was president at the time when we signed documentation to what we see today. If you look at the improvement that's been made, over $97 million has been spent to better Cars Park, to look at all the new developments that's taking place throughout the city of Alexandria. Now, I was glad to see that, because if you look at the quality of life and where people are living, there needs to be better communities, better homes, better neighborhoods where people are living. As I walk through communities and neighborhoods, I look at the way people live, you know, and that troubles me. You know, but as I look at housing, as I look at people living in houses that's broken down, halfway torn down, and they still living in them, and that concerns me. But my hope is for a better day for people, to work hard for the community. My campaign is all about people. It's all about pulling people together, to working in this community. What can we do as people in every community, every district, every neighborhood, to make our communities and neighborhoods better, to plan for it, and also to look at the end result.
Do you think right now that there's not a lot of planning for better progress?
It should be more.
Should be more.
It should be more. Bringing people together, working together, whether it's churches, civic groups, organizations, mobilizing people to come together on what the problems are in our community. And I want to take the lead in doing that. And that's why I run. That's why I'm part of a great process in our community, to make sure that as part of our campaign, bringing people together of all races, that we can do better, we can be better, we can have hope. We can not only have hope, we can work hard and get the job done. And that's what I see. You know, I want to live my life knowing that at the end of the day, I was able to help people, help the community, and help make decisions that's going to affect people. That at the end result, it's going to be better as people look at their livelihoods. And that's what it's all about for me. It's not about what I want for me, but what I want to do for help people.
So when you look at the makeup of our city now, it's changed. We elected a new mayor. and we even elected new council members. So what changes have you seen in this new regime that makes you say, I have the experience and I can be an integral part of moving forward, helping them move forward?
Well, one of the things that I've seen some concerns about things that have to be done that hasn't been done. That's why I'm running, because one of the things I want to see more progress. The mayor is, we have a new mayor, we have a couple new councilmen, but at the council level, I feel that more have to be done. I'm not satisfied. Things that I have to do and say are positive about leadership. From my
Did you try to
perspective.
get with the council members to say, you know, I have the experience before you decided to run, to say, look, you know, these are some concerns that are that need to be addressed, and this is a way that we could do that?
Well, one of the things that's important to me is people. You know, I meet with people, I meet with groups, I meet with organizations, I talk to people in the community, and I always take the people's perspective. It's about a lot of people with me first. You know, as we go through and have been through these storms, these hurricanes, and as we look at things that people face with in their neighborhoods when it comes down to public safety, when it comes down to health concerns, as what we're going through with pandemic 19 and COVID-19. I have a lot of concerns about people. I have about the quality of life, and I talk to people, and they talk to me. I go to before even the storm hits. I was going to you go to neighborhood meets. You learn about people. You learn about things they're faced with. You learn about things that's not getting done. So those things lead to my decision as I want to continue to serve. And that's how I make my decision. I put together a panel of people all across this city, and we look at issues. My campaign and things that I do from day one has always been people oriented. I never have spent a lot of time going to. I take a look at, you know, what in the political arena, what councilmen are doing and what state representatives are doing, what senator. I look across the board because one of the things I believe in when you serve a city, you serve a parish, and you serve the state, and you represent the city of Alexandria, because collectively you have people that's elected at different levels throughout the city. How is everybody working together to better serve our city? How is that state representative working in Baton Rouge to provide funding for projects in the city of Alexandria? How is that U.S. Senator providing things throughout the state of Louisiana to better projects for our city? You know, so how is that congressional representative doing things to better serve and help with the needs of legislation and projects to work together to get things done for our city? It's just across the board.
Sure.
Those are things that I see. Those are things as people planning in progress relates to the things I want to see is how can all these factors come into play, not just with what I want to see by putting everybody together at the table, creating that committee, creating people to work together, say, look, this is what we have to do for our city to lead the way. And that's what I would like to see. That's what people planning in progress is all about, because one of the things I want to see, you know, you have a mayor, you have a council, but we have to have good government. You know, people have to work together. You have to put all the issues.
And how do you bring people together at the table? Because, you know, I think the last 4 years, people were really hopeful that we would see more progress, that we would see a togetherness. But what you're saying, it sounds like, is that we haven't seen that.
Well, one of the things, there have to be discussions. One of the things in open discussions, where people have to realize that, you know, after you develop those things, those concepts, those ideas, that it's not about you. What I do is not about what I see for myself. It's what I see for this community. It's what I see for this for people. People have to sit down collectively and put their differences aside and say, look, we have to make our community better. We have to make our city better. We have a lot of key issues that we're faced with, because a councilman, as people have worked in this committee, you know, I work to put differences aside. I don't, because I'm elected to serve people. You know, I've asked that question before. You know, I'm not president of the council, whether I'll work with the mayor or like the mayor or didn't like the mayor. You know, people always would say, well, why would you work with the mayor? I ran against when Jack Raw was mayor, you know, and I served as president. You know, why would I make people suffer because I ran against the mayor? You know, and the end result for me was I represent people across the city. As councilman at large, I represented everybody across the city, you know, a very diverse group of people. So you're elected by all people. Your job is to work for people, not to sit across the table and say, look, we're not going to get this done because we ran against each other, we don't like each other, but we have to work for the betterment of people.
And you faced a lot of criticism for being a supporter of Mayor Roy. How did you deal with that personally?
Well, one of the things, when you say support, when people say, well, supporter, it's support of people. I've gotten asked that question several times. People used to be mad at me, say, why would you sit down in a meeting with the mayor? Why would you sit at the table? If I'm president of the Alexandria City Council,
right,
and he's the mayor, and we have to make key decisions in this city, you want to criticize me because I'm trying to work out the best interests of all people. I'm looking at the quality of life. I'm looking at good government. I'm looking at budgetary matters. I'm looking at public safety for all people. The mayor has the staff. I don't, as president of the Alexandria City Council, I don't control, based on Alexandria City Council, his staff.
Right.
I don't call and delegate to his staff what to do. He does. But one of the things that's important to me is the team concept. What do we have to do to work together to make our communities and neighborhoods better? What do we have to do to look at programs? What do we have to do?
And so not just charting your own course or what you thought, but how to make it better for all.
Right. And that's the concept that I looked at. I had to. There's no other choice, but to do it that way. And that's my hope for all people. That's my hope for the new city council, for new members that comes in, that we can have seminars, workshops to look at positive ways that everybody can work together to move this city forward. And that's what's needed. A good government, I think one of the things that's most important is when people come together that you can get the job done. You can be more effective. If we sitting down to the table looking at, millions of dollars, what can we do from every district? What can we do from every neighborhood?
What a lot of people's concerns is that a lot of the neighborhoods and a lot of the districts were left out. And one of the calls that I hear people talking about all the time is entrepreneurship, more small businesses, more grocery stores in communities that are really underserved. And these people are having to cross town to get their goods and services, and that they're not businesses in the community. How do we finally get that addressed?
Well, one of the things you have to look at economics. One of the things you look at, whether it's everyone that's in business growth and development, you look at the who all is involved in the Chamber of Commerce, whether you have the minority businesses, whether you have the Chamber of Commerce itself. You look at how we all can come together to make those things happen. But number one, you have to look at public safety in neighborhoods and communities. Number one, when you look at economics, you look at, are we having a good, safe, and clean neighborhoods? Because when someone looks at bringing a business into their neighborhoods, let's take a look. What can we do to improve communities and neighborhoods? What can we do to put people to work? What can we do to make sure that communities and neighborhoods, are drug-free with those employees who we want to hire and put in those neighborhoods? Now there's drug testing. It's not like it was years ago when you just, okay, I want to work in this workplace. But now there's drug testing for all people. There's background checks. So one of the things that I strongly believe in is that we want to see all people get back to work. I don't want to see people on the streets. I want to see people involved.
And how do we do that? How do we, now there is drug testing, but more and more younger people are using marijuana and not thinking that this is an illegal substance. And because they are using marijuana, they're not employable. They're not being employed at the rate that they should. How do we work on that issue?
I think it starts at an early age. I think it started with the school system. I think it should start educationally to also across the board. One of the things that I would like to see is intergovernmental agreements, with the city, with the school board, with the parish, to do those things as incumbent through recreation educational programs in our city. One of the things that I would like to create is what we call Alexandria Recreation Educational Programs in every community, all the centers, to take the locks off the doors, to make sure that we have concepts in place for our young people to work through leadership leagues, to work sure that we have instructors there through tutorial programs and mentorship programs to also help with our youth, to let them know that they can be part of our community, that they can, we can work to lead the way, to also work what I call career solutions. One of the things I would like to see in community centers is create a project called Career Solutions projects. So when people finish high school, and our students finish from community colleges, where they finish from CTLC, whatever they do to enhance their ability to learn and be progressive once they receive their education, whether they receive a high set, whether they receive a high school diploma, whether they go on to college, that we can work with business groups and developments, jobs, growth, industry, the Louisiana workforce development to come into play to make sure that we have great opportunities for our young people. Some people feel, and you probably heard this, golly, when I finish high school, when I finish college, I can't come back home. When I get a job, can I work in Alexandria? Can I get a livable wage? So all these things are important to our city. They're important to our community. And one of the things that, and going back to your question, drug use is running rapid in our community. It leads to a lot of crime. And that we don't want to see in our communities and neighborhoods once we build these stores. So it's a lot that has to be done. That's why people planning in progress is so important. It's about what we can do together, what I would like to do to help lead the way in our city. That's why I'm running. That's why I want to be part of something that's great. We're working with people. It's important to me. It's important to our community. I think all the churches should be involved. Churches has gymnasiums now. They have a lot of places in a lot of these buildings that's empty. And I want to see pastors become involved because we can save our children. Like that old saying, you train up that child in the way that child should go, and when they grow older, they won't stray away from it.
Why are we not using those? Almost every church has a community life center or something to that effect.
I think there should be more. I think there should be more engagement. I think we should look at funding for a lot of these places, a lot of these buildings. I worked in leadership leagues, so our fraternity through Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, and that's a way. And I would like to see more people involved to save our children from the streets of this great city. And they have to be saved because if you look around us now, it's more people committing crimes, it's more young people committing crimes.
And it's more black on black crime.
It's more black on black crime. So we have a lot of work to do, and it has to be done. And it's all about everybody coming together. It's not about in government, this person versus that person. It's about what we all can do together to work. And I believe in workmanship at the council level, state representatives, all the senators. Everybody has to look at funding for all these programs. You have to look at, again, economics. We look at providing money and grants that we can get to put these programs in communities and neighborhoods, money for economic growth in different neighborhoods and across our city. So you have to look at all those avenues. When you look at building stores, when you look at building minority programs, when you look at building all the things that we have to do to be successful, we have to do those things.
Do you think that you'll have a good working relationship with the mayor, that you could come bring the experience, the 14 plus years experience that you have, and be able to bring those relationships that you've built over the years and work with Mayor Hall?
Yes, that's why I have the experience. I've been president 3 times, so I know what it takes to lead the way. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm ready and prepared to do it. And I'm going to look forward to it. My experience tells me that I received 2 of the highest awards in Louisiana for leading the way. Healthy cities, healthy communities, going to schools, talking about the DAP program through the Louisiana Association of Educators. I've served as 20 years as president of the Rapids Chapter University Alumni Federation. Every position I've ever held, I've served on a lot of boards in this city and its parish, workforce investment boards, the American Red Cross, you name it. I've been there, and I know what people expect. I know what this community expect. My number's 1 or 2 on the ballot, and I'm ready and prepared to lead the way and work with people.
Are you excited about jumping back into public service?
Oh, yeah,
but you really never left, I guess.
I never left, because even now, the time that I've been out during these storms, during these hurricanes, helping people with their utilities, helping people with problems they've had when you look at drainage in the communities and neighborhoods, people that's been flooded. I've been out just kind of working, looking at what needs to be done to make our communities and cities better. So I just have a lot of concerns. It all comes down to what we have to do together. Across the city. It's not about people. It's not about the other person. It's about what you, I, and everybody else can do to help our city, help our community, even what you're doing here. The message is strong and should be strong on what people have to do to increase the quality of life to make our city and community better. That's why I want to work hard, lead the way.
Absolutely. Well, Roosevelt, I think that, there is a lot of work that needs to be done. And I think a lot of people are trying to figure out, who their next officials should be. And what we're saying to our listeners and viewers is that we want to be able to have these conversations with people like yourself that are asking for our vote, to see what your plan is. And then after that plan, how do we hold our officials accountable for what they say that they're going to do?
And I think that's real important, because that's why our campaign is about people, planning, and progress. I want to pull people together more than ever before. After this election over, I want to make sure that we come to the table in communities and neighborhoods, that we work hard together across the board with people involved, pastors, civic groups, organizations, to come in the room and say, look, let's have positive thinking people. Let's think positive, about how we can make progress in every community, every neighborhood, every district, how we can work with other officials to make our community better. I want to see us do what other cities have done in the city of Alexandria. Let's look positive. Don't say we can't, but say we can. Those are the things that's important to me. That's why I want to work hard to lead the way to make sure that we can accomplish those goals, that you, I, and everyone else can tell the story of communities and neighborhoods, how we can have development, growth, economics.
Especially being in the center of the state.
Right. Because one of the things I feel that the city of Alexandria should be leading the way. When it comes down to all those things that we see, and being the center of the state, being Alexandria and Central Louisiana, there's no excuse why we should not be a leader in the state of Louisiana.
Absolutely. Well, Roosevelt, we want to thank you for taking the time to share with our listeners and viewers your vision and your passion for servanthood and serving the public. And I think now more than at any time in our lifetimes, this election is critical on so many levels, not just, voting for president, but what happens in our local communities and putting the right people in the right places to move our cities forward.
And that's important. And I just want that opportunity to do it. I have the experience, the knowledge, the wisdom to do it, to lead the way, to work with people, to work with all people, all races. That's what this is all about. Councilman at large is for everybody in this city. And one of the things that's important to me is workmanship and leadership to get the job done. And I've proven that. I want to get back to do that. I have a proven record to do it for leadership in our great city. I want to lead the way for our vision of hope, that it will be better in communities and neighborhoods.
There you go. Roosevelt Johnson has been our guest this morning. He is running for Alexandria City Council at large. Roosevelt, thank you for taking the time, and thank you for serving our community.
Thank you so much.
Indeed. Hey, everybody, stay on point. We're back after this.